Hey everyone, what's up? It's Sarah and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I wanted to talk about Nicolle and Tia and Daonte. I really wanted to touch on last Friday's episode of Life After Lockup because there was a lot of emotion. A lot of people have been talking about the interaction between Daonte and Nicolle and how that went down. Especially Nicolle's just super emotional reaction. She seemed very genuinely upset and it had a lot of people talking. So let's jump right in. One of the things that I can confirm for you guys is that this was the first time that Daonte and Nicolle had seen each other in upwards of 4 months. So that had a lot to do with the heightened emotional state. I think, at least on Daonte's part, he went in with a really authentic, genuine, like, I haven't seen her. So his reaction to the way she looked, to the way she was acting, it was all really authentic. As I've told you guys before, I've had numerous cast members tell me about things that they were surprised see make the cut, not make the cut. So as we've talked about before, the cast members don't actually know what's going to air until it airs. So one of the things that Daonte had no idea about was this conversation that took place between Nicolle and Tia outside of the tanning salon. He had no idea that they had discussed essentially having Nicolle try to get back with him to get money out of him. A major theme throughout last season of Life After Lockup was that the viewers were really wanting Daonte to put his foot down when it came to Nicolle. We saw it a little bit last season. You know, he seemed to be catching on to the game. So one of the things that really astounded viewers was the fact that Daonte seemed to actually suggest giving money to Nicolle. Nicolle wasn't even asking. That really shocked viewers. I think it's important to remember that, and it's touched on kind of in the show, but Daonte tragically lost his ex-girlfriend. It was not a good situation that he was in. She had been trying to contact him and he had missed some phone calls, and the next thing he knew, he was getting a call that she had overdosed. So it is shocking to see the amount of like BS that he's willing to put up with. On the other hand, it is understandable to an extent because he did lose someone. Like I said, this was the first time that they had seen each other in months. So Daonte's reaction to her physical appearance was extremely authentic from what I was told. Not only did she appear that she had lost a lot of weight, but it was told to me that her hair appeared to be thinner and that her pupils were extremely dilated during this scene. One of the things that we saw a little bit was Nicolle getting really emotional. She started to cry and she walks away from Daonte. And that was pretty strange because Nicolle has not come off like an overly emotional person on the show thus far. For how she has been portrayed or portrayed herself, feeling bad about like maybe scamming someone, definitely I wouldn't think would have fit into a characteristic of her. So it was different and odd to see that kind of reaction from her. Apparently she was even more emotional than what was shown on the show, and Daonte actually went to console her and comfort her, and she got even more upset and even more emotional. And I have a theory about this that I'm going to touch on in just a second. We see this in the car ride when he's driving her home, but she did admit that she spent all the money that he gave her. You know, he gave her a lot of money and he gave her a lot of gifts, and it's not, I mean, it's not unbelievable. If it's been months and you were that person's only source of income, it is believable to me that they would have run out of money. I think that collectively we were all like, oh, when Nicolle turned down Daonte's offer for money. And I can confirm Daonte was just as surprised as everyone else. One of the things that really struck me was they flashed back to like Nicolle just getting out of prison, her like first few days with Daonte, and just where she is now, and just the change that you can see in her. And it was, I guess, noted by producers about how it almost was like Nicolle relaxed more when she was around Daonte. Maybe it was because she felt safe, I don't know, but apparently there is a noticeable difference between when she's filming with Daonte and when she's filming elsewhere. Now I want to talk about Tia for just a moment. I've made a couple videos about Nicolle and Tia. I've talked to a couple sources that know Tia aside from Nicolle, and the general understanding and the picture that I've been painted is that Tia can be an incredibly controlling person. She's been in relationships that have gone down a physical route, and that perhaps she isn't how she is portraying herself on TV. I think on TV, she is especially coming off as pretty soft-spoken, almost meek to a point. Back early on in Love After Lockup, when Nicolle was talking about her relationship with Tia, she even admits out of her own mouth that there was one point when they got into an argument and Tia spit on her. So she does describe herself some really intense arguments. It just seems to me that we are seeing just a very watered down version of this relationship. I have a theory of this interaction, and you guys can let me know if you agree with me or not. In my opinion, I think Tia is actually much more of a puppet master than she lets on. I think that the conversation that she had with Nicolle about not being comfortable with her talking to Daonte was absolutely just for the camera. When I did my video about Tia and Nicolle and their Suboxone habit, from what it was told to me is that Tia would regularly use her partners to get money to support various things in her life. So this would absolutely be believable to me that she would have a hand in wanting Nicolle to get back in touch with Daonte to get money out of him. I had mentioned also in a previous video, people are like, well, why would they be scamming if Tia comes from a wealthy family? Well, her family might have a tight lock on the money that they give her. And if she can't get money for the extracurriculars that she wants, she might find other sources of revenue. The whole interaction between Daonte and Nicolle, I don't know if Nicolle ever truly had a romantic interest in Daonte. I have no idea. The one thing that I do think is that she does have an affection for him. They were talking for over a year before she was released. So they did develop some sort of relationship. And I think, to me, the way that this interaction came off was that she felt bad. She had remorse and guilt for suggesting this poly relationship, for just the motivation behind it, which was not a genuine romantic, let's get back together, but more so for scamming. Now, of course, I know that what I'm saying kind of paints Nicolle as this manipulated person, and I don't think that that's necessarily the case at all. But I do think, just based off of Nicolle's own words and how she has described Tia, it seems that there might be some sort of apprehension to upset Tia. That, you know, if it's all good, then it's all good, and if it's bad, well, watch out. So I don't know, that's just how this scene played out to me, and I really wanted to get on here and talk to you guys about it. And just with the sources that I have talked to close to the situation, there was a lot more emotion that we didn't see. You guys will have to let me know what you think down in the comments. I have been told that it is going to be getting even more explosive between this throuple, I guess is what we're calling it at this point. And, you know, ultimately, this was teased way back in Love After Lockup. We know that we are going to be seeing a wedding, and we know that it's Tia and Nicolle. So I'm really interested to see the road to the wedding, how this works out. So let me know what you guys think of that scene. It had a lot of people talking, and I just wanted to get on here and talk to you guys about it. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to my channel, follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Reality Squad, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care, have a good one, much love.